So the number one question that we received today is regarding melatonin. No big surprise. You answered a lot of questions, but one lingering one is, are there any long-term health implications to extended melatonin use? So a number of parents wondering, is it literally okay for my child to take melatonin supplement every night?
Well, yes, there's a lot of different advices regarding the duration of use of melatonin, and this is based on people who may use it for other indications than delayed sleep phase. But delayed sleep phase is the indication for which it is meant, and it's a chronic condition from birth. So if you stop melatonin, the rhythm will be late in 2 weeks again. We measured that. So the melatonin onset that you advance using melatonin at the right time in the evening, it will be later again as it was based on your natural rhythm in 2 weeks. So if you stop, what's the use? You will disturb your perfect early rhythm with which you can do your the things you want to do on time. During daytime, you will disturb all kind of biological rhythms again. I don't see the point of stopping melatonin when you use it for the right indication, that is delayed sleep phase syndrome.
Okay, very helpful. Unfortunately, melatonin is not regulated here in the United States, and we know that dosages can sort of vary wildly. They're not necessarily something we can depend on. Can you offer any advice to the listeners to help them find the safest and most dependable melatonin supplement?
The first thing you can do is look at every package of melatonin and read what the dosage is, but it's not reliable indeed because it's not a regulated substance. So the best way to be very sure about the dosage, especially the low dosage that I advise, is have it prescribed by your doctor, because he or she can describe the right dosage for you, and then you're sure about content.
Okay, wonderful. And I will speed into a few more questions. Is there any reason to believe that stimulant medication used for the treatment of ADHD impairs sleep in terms of pushing back, sleep onset or disturbing sleep?
It's been known for a long time that stimulants do have this impact on sleeping in. So it may delay your sleep onset, which is not desirable because you are already a late person. And that's the reason that I always start with treating sleep first. That means that we start with education, melatonin, if necessary, light therapy. And when the rhythm has been advanced and set and stable, I start a stimulant medication for ADHD. And if there is any lateness induced by the stimulant medication, it's much less severe and it has little or no impact as compared to when you start treating ADHD right away without advancing the sleep rhythm first. It's logical because if you have then a delay, it's even it's adding on the delay that's already there by your biological clock. So you have to take into account the pre-existing sleep problem and the effect of stimulant medication coming above and upon. And the effect of stimulant medication is much less than the pre-existing late sleep phase disorder itself. So treat the disorder first, and then you have control of sleep even when you use stimulant medication.
Okay, very helpful. A number of people were wondering about your recommendation for not wearing sunglasses. And as we know, sensory processing disorder can be quite comorbid with ADHD. For those who do experience sensory processing disorder, light sensitivity, migraine, would a polarized lens be a good solution for them? Does that help at all in allowing more sunlight without aggravating those conditions?
I didn't understand the word that you used for this this type of glasses?
Oh, polarized sunglasses.
Polarized. Okay. I don't know, actually. I can only talk about my own experiences, my own patients, and they said, I cannot stand the light, so why do you ask me to put off the glasses during the daytime? I said, well, I cannot force you, but I can only explain to you that if you use it for hours, you won't synchronize with daylight. Therefore, you will have more sleep problems. So just try to limit it. And many of them told me that they got more used to the light after a while and that it was less severe. But we still don't know why this oversensitivity to light is there in ADHD in 70%. So that's our next study called Looking into the Eye of ADHD. And we are still not ready to publish the results. And I even can tell you so to be continued. But if you're not able to put it off completely, which is maybe not necessary, so you can use sunglasses on a very light day on the beach, for instance, or when you are in skiing in the mountains and you have sun on the snow. It's horrible without any glasses. But don't exaggerate it. Don't use it all the time. It's meant to be able to synchronize your system with daylight. That's the whole message.
Okay, and similarly for children who habitually use a night light at night, would you suggest breaking that habit?
Yes.
I figured as much. Okay, I'm going to ask just a few more that were very common today, and that is the experience of waking at 2, 3 a.m. and being unable to fall asleep, whether due to ruminating thoughts or just sleeplessness. For those people, aside from not turning on the light, can you offer advice that could either prevent the mid-cycle waking or to help them to fall asleep faster?
Yeah, this is basically, you're now asking about what to do with insomnia. So you have those racing thoughts, you cannot stop the motor, you cannot fall asleep. Well, what's best for insomnia, pure insomnia without late sleep phase underneath, because it often comes together and it reinforces each other. If there is late sleep phase from childhood on, you can use melatonin. It's very helpful to fall asleep earlier. But if you have those racing thoughts, you must maybe check whether or not you have a depression or anxiety that needs treatment. Because if that's true, you won't get rid of the sleep problem without treatment of anxiety and depression. You can do breathing exercises, mindfulness, relaxation, massage, hot baths, whatever helps you to get out of the head and into the body and relax. These are the typical advices that are given for insomnia. But if it's not helpful what you do at home, you should go for cognitive behavior therapy for insomnia. And in my country, we have it even online in a do-it-yourself website with instructions. So maybe you have that in the States too. So it's CBTI, it's the name of the therapy. It's basically sleep hygiene measures and learning not to take naps and to put off the light on time and so on, what I told you.
Great. Okay, last question is regarding teenagers. As we know, not known for their wonderful sleep habits, exerting independence and control over their own schedule is often their greatest form of control. And you mentioned it's really not ideal for you to sleep longer on the weekends. Is there any special consideration for these teenagers who have to get up, so early for school and they're growing? Can we let them sleep on the weekends, or we really shouldn't?
Well, no. There's always exceptions to all rules, luckily. And I must say, adolescents are a special breed because all adolescents are later sleepers than all adults to start with. And all adolescents are later sleepers than all children. That means that this typical life phase is accompanied by a temporarily late sleep phase. And the exception is that in ADHD people, it never returns to earlier. When you grow older, it stays there forever because you have been a late child, a late adolescent, and a late adult, because it's genetic. But in other adolescents without ADHD, they are only temporarily late. And they also profit from melatonin, I must say, because they do have a delayed sleep phase disorder at that very episode in life. And people biologists tend to say that it's for a good reason that adolescents need to find their spouses and their partners for life, and they need to do this during nighttime when their parents are asleep. And maybe that's a good explanation for the reason why nature provided them with a late sleep phase during this life phase. But I'm not sure about it. But anyway, they can profit from melatonin as well if needed. And regarding the question for letting them sleep in, well, if they haven't slept during the week, they have to. Otherwise they will be intoxicated with sleep loss, which is really toxic. But they will also be jet lagged the next Monday morning that they have to enter school again. So you could also try to explain to them what the impact is of going to bed so late and having these problems every weekend and every Monday again.